Easy yeast rolls. Do you want them divided? Do you want the clover leaf or just the plain old rolls? Okay, I'm going to start out with 1 cup of lukewarm water. This water just right out of my faucet. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of yeast. Now, that's 1 package. I like to buy mine in bulk and just keep it in a jar in the refrigerator. And I have shown you videos before proving that you can freeze yeast, put it in the icebox indefinitely, and it's just fine. The only thing that really hurts yeast is heat. Okay, I'm just going to kind of dissolve this in here. Now, used to, with the old type yeast, you had to proof it, you know, put your sugar in there, let it set 5 minutes. But supposedly, with this new type yeast, you don't have to do all that. And this is just a really quick recipe anyway. So I've got my yeast in here. I've dissolved it. I've been stirring it just to kind of dissolve it. Okay, now I'm going to add sugar and salt. And 1 beaten egg. And then I've got my melted butter. Now this could be oil, just whatever you happen to have on hand. Now if you're using melted butter, make sure it's not too hot because you don't want to destroy your yeast. So this was just slightly beaten. And then I'm just going to add 1 cup of flour. And then I'm going to mix this until everything's really mixed well together. Now, electric mixers have just really sped up the process of making homemade bread. And now I'm going to add my other 2 cups of flour. And I'm going to first beat in a cup, and then I'll beat in my 2nd cup. And then just go ahead and put about half of it in there. And then just kind of stir in the rest of it. Of course, depending on what kind of mixer you have, if you have a really strong mixer like the KitchenAid, you could have just mixed in the whole thing. This is a little cheap mixer from the dollar store, so just want to kind of mix this out where all the flour is incorporated in there. Okay. Now all I need to do is cover this up and let it double in size. Okay, now the real problem of making bread in the winter time is finding a warm place for it to double in size. Now I solved my problem. You can either put it in your oven, turn the light on, or if you want it a little quicker, I like to put mine on a heating pad. I put it on high, I put a towel over it, I just set my container of dough on it, cover it up with some plastic or wax paper or even another cloth. My rolls have doubled in size and I'm ready to roll them out. I'm going to put a little flour here on my board. I'm going to try using this silicone muffin pan, and of course I'll put it on another cookie sheet to stabilize it. And I'm going to go ahead and spray it now. I don't want to spray it once my hands are full of dough. And I really just kind of need this just enough to get rid of the stickiness and get it, you know, where I can roll it out. I've got 12 muffin tins, so I'm going to divide this into 12 parts. Now I'm going to, I can make them plain. Now I'll do 4 of them like this. Just put them right in the pan. Or if I want to make them, you know, the divided rows you've seen, I'll just simply cut my ball in half. First I want to roll it back up. And then put 2 holes in here. Put two balls in there. Now I've done that, I've got just a single ball, or I'll cut it in two balls. But now if I want to get even more fancy, and back when I was growing up in the stores, everybody had the cloverleaf rose. So I'm just going to cut this into 3 balls. Okay, you can see how I've done this. Now I'm going to clean up my mess. I'm going to put some melted butter on top, cover them with plastic wrap again, and let them rise for another 30 minutes or until they, about 45 minutes. Okay, now I'm ready to put my melted butter on here. Okay, I'm going to put these back on my heating pad and let them rise. Okay, I've let these rise, a little over 30 minutes, well really 45 minutes. And I see I didn't get them all the same size, but they're double in size. And I'm ready to put them in a 400-degree oven. Okay, now don't those look yummy? Of course it'd be a lot better if I'd got my rows even, but just look how easy they come out of the pan. Now when you're making yeast rolls, it's really hard sometimes to time it just right with when your meal is ready, but that's okay. You can either underbake them and then stick them back in the oven to finish baking, or just go ahead and bake them and just reheat them in the oven at 400 degrees, maybe 7 to 8 minutes. Now you don't need the silicone muffin pans. My regular metal muffin pans would have been fine, or even spreading them out on a cookie sheet, giving a little room between each row. I'm Carolyn Gibson at Homemade Cooking in Texas. Like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss these yummy recipes.